It's been a very busy day here at Rowrah, but we come to the final grid of the race day itself. Sebastian Pereira and Maximus Shields will line up on the front row. Christian Oblag and Conor McCarthy, row 2. Sophie Pawsey getting a bit of love from Caleb Lawson-Donaghy at the moment. She will have Wilkins alongside Finn Collister and Amy Frame, row 4. Reese Knight and Harry Brown completing the top 10 with Leon Wilson and Harry Roddis rounding out the top 6 rows with Owen Roberts showing at 13th, but we will have 11 drivers. So love little sister Kaylee, me and Mums watching too. We miss you. See you soon. Big heart. Bless. So we're back to our last race of the day. A big thank you to everyone that has tuned in on the Alpha live stream here from Rowrah, live and direct. A big thank you to James Fitzhugh and the whole team, the whole crew, including Pancho Villa, Chris Simpson, one of our more famous cameramen in the crew. So we have 11 drivers getting ready. And seeing Amanda Collister, really nice comment here, James. Love to be able to watch all day from home. Good thing, Amanda, because you haven't had to worry about the weather conditions that we've had to suffer all day. So thank you very much for that one. It's really good to hear the compliments from everybody that's been watching along with us. Don't forget, there is plenty of coverage on Alpha Live starting on Bank Holiday Monday tomorrow, which includes the British Superkarts and also the Civic Cup, if memory serves me correctly as well. You see, I keep in touch with the programming, and there's more karting to come next week, including Rotax Max Challenge Switzerland, the opening round of the season from Frankfurt, which I will be on duty for. I won't be in Italy, but the crew will be. And also the Motorsport UK British Kart Championships, because that kicked off last weekend at Shennington, if I remember correctly. So you'll hear from the dulcet tones of Henry Burdett and Anthony Jordan. So Pro Karts lined up on the grid ahead of the last race of the day. Kirsty saying good luck, Sophie Pawsey from big sister and niece. And Conor McCarthy being told to send it. Right, slight drama with Maximus Shields on the front row, trying to get the right-hand engine fired up. Okay, right, there we go. He's now happy. Revs rise, lights are out. They were held for a long time, but we are off and racing. Pereira leads the field ahead of Shields, going up the hill through into the chicane for the first time of asking. Oblag in third. Fourth, it's Conor McCarthy, followed by Sophie Pawsey. That's number 67 in there as well. Thomas Wilkins ahead of... Well, Thomas Wilkins trying to get up the inside of Sophie Pawsey, going through into McRae's for the first time of asking, now through into Iredale's. There's Finn Collister with Harry Brown, and the numbers 16 and 47 making their way down the back straight. So they're making their way down the hill for the first time of asking. Sebastian Pereira has got the lead. Maximus Shields in second. Christian Oblag rounds out the top three. Conor McCarthy in fourth. Lap 1 in the books. Pereira already into the sub-60s. 59.773 seconds. So we're a minute and 20 into the race itself. Sophie Ballsy holding on to 5th position at the moment. Actually ahead of the 67 of Thomas Wilkins as they go down the back straightaway, heading into the stewardesses. Kart's a little bit more manoeuvrable now with these conditions changing. More of a dry line emerging on the circuit, so still going to get some good traction on these tyres. Ten minutes to go of this race, plus an additional lap to conclude the racing activities. And Sebastian Pereira, the track has really evolved to the point. Oh, Sophie Pawsey, a little bit wide coming out of the chicane. Wilkins towards the outside, through into McRae's. Is up the inside. Oh, my goodness me. Now, I was trying to keep an eye on who the number 54 is, but Amy Frame just ended up spinning. Well, she was unfortunately spinning around as a result of that contact, going through into McRae's, so Amy Frame will not be very happy about that one. Sophie Pawsey keeping a hold of that position, but Wilkins trying to force the issue towards the outside, through into the right-hander at St John's, but Pawsey looks to still be ahead at the moment, which she is. And the number 54 has just gotten a warning. Nine minutes still to go, plus an additional lap. So effectively, we have got, we have got 12 cars running. I mean, the 54, not too sure who that is. I've been wondering about that all day long. 8 minutes and 45 still to go. Conor McCarthy trying to chase down Christian Oblag. That's for P3 on the road. But Shields, last time around, did a 55.355. They come through in towards Paddock Bend. Sebastian Pereira was 6.5 tenths of a second adrift. However, that gap could be closing, and it is. It's down to less than 3 tenths. Shields, fastest lap again of the race in 2 successive laps, 55.232. As the 181 looks to steal the upper hand when he gets the opportunity to do so. Sebastian Pereira, based out of Morpeth, north of Newcastle actually. I've been there quite a while ago. Big thank you to Elaine saying, great job Alex and all the other bods that brought us a great day's coverage, and then she went, oh, forgot all the drivers. No, well put Elaine, thank you very much for the positive feedback. And the live stream coverage will continue at Lyd on the 5th of June in the southeast. I'll be otherwise engaged elsewhere overseas. But Shields getting closer and closer. It's less than 2 kart lengths. And again, another fastest lap. The gap now down to 2 tenths. Shields is on an absolute tear right now. 55.083 was his last lap time. 7/100ths quicker than Sebastian Pereira. 5 minutes down, 7 to go, plus a lap. Waiting for an opportunity as one of the karts moving out of the way. That would have been Leon Wilson in the number 68, our novice in this class. But Pereira managing to extend that gap ever so slightly. Well, it's a little bit more than 2 tenths, probably more like about maybe double that gap. They come across the line. Lap number 6 completed. It's now gone up from 2 tenths. That was half a second Sebastian Pereira gained in terms of the lead. Sophie Pawsey now battling away with the number 54, who shall remain nameless because we don't know who that driver is, but oh, that is actually Reese Knight. My apologies. So he's got the 54 running all day, and Reese Knight is the kart in the 54. So Reese Knight ahead of Finn Collister and Amy Frame. And it's 4 in a row. Amy Frame looking to the inside of Finn Collister, going through into the stewardesses this time. And manages to get through. Collister getting a little bit crossed up, going through into the first part of it. Lights up the rear tyres and the back end steps out to the right. Halfway through the final we go. Oh, bit wide there from Sophie Pawsey through St John's, and Amy Frame trying to go up the inside of Reese Knight. Knight trying to hang it around the outside through into paddock. Gets the under over done perfectly. And Sophie Pawsey, there was no real need for you to gesticulate because he had the run. He had the run big time. And then Amy Frame managed to get through as well. So Sophie Pawsey down 2 positions at the drop of a hat and has Finn Collister just behind. 5 minutes to go. Oh, it's all pushing and shoving. Front and rear bumpers connect. It's like 3 in a row. But the good thing is that they're able to rotate these karts and they're bumping over the curbs with reckless abandon once again. 4.5 minutes to go, and Maximus Shields is closing in on Sebastian Pereira. Gap at one point was 0.7. It's now 0.376. Shields 54.915. He was only 5/1000ths. There are the 2 leaders. Down towards Iredales they go. Pereira nearly has a lock-up on the back rear and manages to catch it. The good thing is now that with this dry line, these drivers are able to rotate these karts, but these are cooking the tyres as well at the same time. The minute you get a dry line on the circuit, you're going to have to be very, very brave going down the hill. Pereira leads Shields. These 2 are miles ahead of Christian Oblag, who's got Conor McCarthy trying to battle him down for P3. Pereira and Shields take the same racing line. They've got to start cooling those tyres ever so slightly, but the gap was less than 1/10 between the pair of them in terms of the delta. Shields less than 3/10 adrift. 3.5 minutes to go. Amy Frame ahead of Sophie Pawsey. Thomas Wilkins in 5th. Reese Knight in 6th. Amy Frame, Sophie Pawsey and Finn Collister have all just improved. And there is the battle for P3. Oblag versus McCarthy. Oblag based out of Newcastle and McCarthy based out of Bridgend, South Wales. And McCarthy is now into his 3rd year as a Pro Kart driver. Started off as a cadet in the, as Henry Burdett likes to call it, the Centre of World Motorsport, Landau International Raceway. Started as a cadet since he was 8. Leaders now closing in on Leon Wilson. Well, actually, no, that's Harry Brown up ahead. So now, oh no, that is Leon Wilson. Oh, dearie me. That's what you call getting past back marker traffic at a rapid rate of knots. So it's all about who's going to manage these conditions. Now, the way things stand, Maximus Shields is just keeping... I mean, these tyres are going to look like slicks by the end of this race, if I'm honest. They only get a couple of sets per season, if memory serves me correctly, but they're all mandated by the championship, and everyone runs on the same tyre. As now, Shields is really in the hot seat. Here we go down to Paddock Bend. 2 minutes on the clock remains. It's a kart length between the pair. That gap is closing. Shields in the slipstream. Up the incline they go through into the chicane once again. Gap is less than 2/10, but Pereira seems to get really good purchase coming out of the chicane. Shields is able to hook it up in the twistier stuff, like the hairpins, and then pointing and squirting and applying the throttle. Pereira tight on the apex through Iredales, as was Shields. Oh, this is getting close. 1 minute and 20 plus an additional lap still to go. As, oh, some snap oversteer for Sebastian Pereira. Maximus Shields now closing in. It's a kart length and a half between the pair. Down the hill they go again through into St. John's. Now into the left into Sunny Bend. Pereira's rear tyres, it's sending the kart slightly sideways. Shields now knows he's got this and probably another lap or two to go. Sebastian Pereira responds with the fastest lap of the race, but look at Shields. He's closing through the chicane. He was 25 thousandths slower on that last lap. Pereira looks over his left shoulder, comes off of the runoff area, still with two wheels within the tram lines on the circuit. But it's tighter apex from Shields through Iredales for what's going to be more than likely the penultimate time of the race meeting. Shields looking to solidify a good points lead as they go through the stewardesses. 15 seconds on the clock still to go. Down into St. John's, into the left at Sunny Bend. Pereira again still threading the eye of the needle when it comes to traction. Shields needs to do something. He needs to do something now. He's got to get into that slipstream. That's all important. It's less than a kart length between them. Last lap board of the race meet is out. Shields has to go for broke if he wants that top step of the podium. Through into McRae's for the final time of asking. Shields is there or thereabouts. He's within a kart length. Is he going to send it up the inside of Iredales? No, he's not. Tighter on the apex goes Shields. Down the back straightaway, heading towards the stewardesses for the final time of this race meeting here at Rowrah. And Shields up the inside to try and get the lead. Pereira keeps it around the outside. A little bit of a touch between the pair, but he's got to try and do something. And Pereira sort of like basically went, yeah, sorry about that. However, down the hill they go. Two more corners now through Sunny Bend. Shields has got to get a run and a half. He's going to sweep to the outside. And Sebastian Pereira, he's going for the undercut. He's in the slipstream. Checkered flag waves. Pereira takes it by 0.13 seconds at the end of 14 laps of racing. And Oblag beats McCarthy to third place, the final step on the rostrum by just under 2 tenths. Thomas Wilkins crosses the line in P5. Reese Knight ahead of Amy Frame. Finn Collister will round out the top 8 positions. It's been a difficult race for Sophie Pawsey. P9 overall. Harry Brown very shortly will come out of the final corner. There he is, the 47. Will take the checkered, and we've just got one more driver to await, and that is going to be Leon Wilson, who is a couple of laps down. Leon Wilson now making his way through into Paddock Bend. And that is it, the last checkered of the race meeting here for round 3 of the season, as Sebastian Pereira takes the victory provisionally from Maximus Shields and Christian Oblag, your top 3 in the Junior Pro Kart final.